everyone, and welcome back to Fully Playable Games. So in today's video we are going to go out and do a trip to CEX. So I've not been back out to CEX for a couple of months, and yeah, I've got a whole load of stuff to trade in. So I've got a load of games, I've got a Wii console, so hopefully I'm aiming to get about 150 quid in vouchers. And yeah, there's a couple of games that I want to pick up for some future videos, but then there's also, yeah, I just want to see what's there. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll get you mounted to the backpack, we'll get in. I mean, what I'm going to do is just drop the stuff off, and then I'll have a look around the shop, and yeah, we'll see what we can find. So that is going to wrap up our trip to CEX, and I have to say I am really happy with the haul of games that we've got. Now there is a good mixture here of ones that I've picked up specifically for future videos on the channel, as well as some that I saw when I was out and about and just decided to grab them because they looked good. What I am also going to be doing today is grouping the games by console, so all of the games for a particular console will be shown together basically, and we're going to start off with an original Xbox game. And yeah, when I saw this in CEX, I picked it up, and as I was walking around I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna grab it, and that is Capcom Fighting Jam. So developed by Capcom Production Studio 2, this is a 2005 fighting game. Originally it was released, when it was released in the US, it was actually called Capcom Fighting Evolution. And the game is a head-to-head crossover fighting game from Capcom that was originally released as a coin-operated arcade game in 2004. Capcom Fighting Evolution / Jam features characters taken from a roster of different Capcom fighting games, including Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, Darkstalkers 3, as well as the single game Red Earth. Now, I will admit, I've never heard of Red Earth, so I'm not too sure about that one, but all of the others I have heard of. And I have to say, as an arcade fighting game, this was really good, and I actually really enjoyed it. It's good to see that some of the characters across the different fighting games, and I thought graphically it was really good, and the controls were actually quite sound as well, which isn't going to be a praise that I'm going to land on a lot of the games that we're going to be looking at today. But for this one, we paid £15 in CEX. It is complete with the manual, which is good, and looking it up online, it goes for about £20 on eBay. So the next game that we've got is on the Xbox 360, and this is actually one that I needed for a upcoming video, so that is why I picked it up, and that is Madden 06. So released in 2005, this is an American football game, and Madden 06 introduced the Superstar mode, which allows players to create and take control of an NFL player from their rookie year all the way through to retirement. The most critically acclaimed new feature is the highlight stick, which functions like an offensive version of the hit stick from the previous year. Now, I'll be honest, I know nothing about that. I am not massively into my American football games. Madden NFL 06 also featured online multiplayer. Unfortunately, the servers were shut down in September 2007. So yeah, only 2 years, which was a real surprise with that one. Obviously, as normal, EA just trying to push you onto the latest and newest game in the series. Visually, I thought it was a really impressive game. As I said, I've got no clue about American football, but I will admit, I think this was the first time ever when I've played these and captured footage that I actually got a touchdown. I was about to say try then, touchdown. I will admit I did have the game set to rookie, so it was easy, but yeah, first ever touchdown. I'm going to take it and claim it as a win. And yeah, as I say, the game was actually originally picked up for a future video on the channel. Then next up we move on to a couple of Xbox One games. And the first one that we've got is not one that I was originally going to pick up. Once again, this was for a future video. But I'll be honest, I'm actually quite glad that I did pick this up, because after doing a bit more research for the video, yeah, it actually turns out that this is probably one of the only ways to actually play this game anymore. And that is Angry Birds Star Wars on the Xbox One. So originally released in 2013 by Rovio Entertainment, the game combines elements of both Angry Birds and Angry Birds Space, featuring levels that take place on both standard terrain as well as in outer space. Unfortunately, the game, this is one of the only ways that you can actually play the game now, is the console version, as the mobile versions were delisted in February 2020. The Xbox One version received mixed reviews and currently has a Metacritic score of 53 out of 100. And if I remember rightly, I think the mobile version got 88 out of 100. But yeah, it is a real shame. Obviously, Rovio has recently been going through and removing original versions of all the games. So even the original Angry Birds, if I remember rightly, has also been delisted now. So the only way that you can play Angry Birds is either on a console version, or you download their new version, which has, I think it's got ads in it, or it's sort of, there was something different. I can't remember if the original game was paid or free. I think it was free. But yeah, they've just tried going down the monetization route a bit too far. And what they're actually doing is say they're basically delisting all of their old games and releasing them with sort of heavy monetization, which has basically killed the whole brand for a lot of people. So we actually paid £8 for Angry Birds. Looking it up online, it normally sells for about £10 on eBay. And just going back actually to the previous game, the Madden 06 on the Xbox 360, I don't think I actually said how much I paid for that. So I originally paid £1 for that, and it goes for about £6 on eBay. Then next up, once again, we've got another Xbox One game, and this is Zoo Tycoon. So once again, another game that I've picked up for an upcoming video. This is a 2013 game released by Frontier Developments, the same studio behind massive games such as Planet Coaster. This is another sort of business simulation game, just like Planet Coaster. And in Zoo Tycoon is a series of business simulation video games in which the player is tasked with building and running a successful zoo. Zoo Tycoon features 4 modes: training, scenario, challenge and freestyle. The scenario mode puts players in control of a preset scenario in which they have to accomplish multiple objectives within a time frame. And then you've also got freestyle, which essentially unlocks everything and gives you access to the whole game, and yeah, it's more of a sandbox version. Now, I've said before, I absolutely love the sort of management sim games. They're ones that I put them on when I just want to just play, block everything else out, not really have to worry about it. Sometimes I'll go through the scenarios, other times I'll just go into sandbox mode, and yeah, absolutely love games like this. So yeah, I will say with this one, it's always one that I've discounted, but actually playing it, I was really impressed with the way that the game works. So you can play the game in 2 different viewpoints. You can either do it as a third-person view over the shoulder of a zookeeper that's based in the world, or you can do the standard overhead sort of management style game. And yeah, just having those 2 options I thought made it really unique. And I have to say the graphics as well were absolutely outstanding as well. So I think it's been out before, but the actual Xbox One version come out with the console in 2013. So we paid £6 for that. Looking it up online, it goes for about £8 on eBay. Then next up, we've got a couple of PS3 games that I once again was picking up for another video. But it actually turns out that we've already got both of them in the collection. So yeah, once again, it's actually getting more and more important that I go through and update my app, because it is so out of date. And yeah, it is just a bit of a shame that I keep picking up doubles. But yeah, that's on me. So the first one that we've got is Virtual Tennis 3. So I ended up paying £1 for that, and it goes for £4 on eBay. And then the other one that we got was Fight Night Round 3. Once again, paid $1.50 for, well, just paid $1.50 for that, sorry. And it goes for £3 on eBay. Yeah, a bit of a shame with those 2. As I say, just it's only since I've got home that I've realised that we actually had them. And then one other game that I did pick up for the PS3, and I haven't managed to capture footage for this yet, but yeah, I saw it and just wanted to grab it. And that is Kung Fu Rider. So released in 2010 by Japan Studio. This is a platformer, and the idea is that you are sort of running from, I think it's running from the Yakuza, and you are essentially you're on an office chair, and you basically use the move controls to navigate your character around the world. So yeah, really interesting game. I think originally it was a mobile game, and yeah, it sort of moved on from there. But it actually uses the same physics engine as another game that was released on the PlayStation Network called Pain, which I think was more of a sort of ragdoll simulator game. I think this one, I've seen it, I've wanted to pick it up, but I think it's only digital. So yeah, I haven't managed to get that yet. So for Kung Fu Rider, I paid £1 for that one. Looking it up online, it goes for about £8 on eBay. Then moving on to some of the PS4 games. So I think the first 2 that we've got here, we've got 3 in total. The first 2 that we've got are both for the up and coming video series. And that is Battlefield 4. Released in 2013 by DICE, this is a first-person shooter, and it's set 6 years after the events of Battlefield 3, and a squad of US Marines codenamed Tombstone attempt to escape Azerbaijan with vital intelligence about a potential military uprising in China. The single-player campaign has several differences from the main multiplayer components. For the most part, the player must traverse mini sandbox style levels, in some cases using vehicles like tanks and boats to traverse the environment. And I have to admit, I have never been massively into the Battlefield series, but I actually really enjoyed playing this. I thought it was... I enjoyed it a lot more than a lot of the modern Call of Duty games. So with a lot of modern Call of Duty games, it is very linear. So you will have a street that you're fighting down. There's no way to get off of that street. You just have different points of cover. Whereas with this one, you could go down this side of the map, you could go down that side, or you can just attack the enemy straight on. I think having the bigger areas to play in allows you to be more strategic, and you can even at some points flank the enemy and take them out from behind, which was really good. And yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. It's a game that I have never really paid a lot of attention to. It's become very much a sort of fodder game now, but actually, yeah, really happy to pick it up. So paid £4 for that, and it goes for £6 on eBay. Then next up, we've got a PS4 version of a game that I have played before. I think I've got it on... I've definitely got it on other consoles. I think I've definitely got it on the PS3. And this is basically, they re-released it on the PS4. I'm pretty sure I've got a couple of different copies of this. And that is Injustice: Gods Among Us. This is the Ultimate Edition. So released in 2013 by NetherRealm Studio. The story is set in a parallel universe with DC Comics multiverse, where Superman has become a tyrant and established a new world order after Joker tricked him into killing Lois Lane and destroying Metropolis. Players select one of several characters from the DC universe to engage in combat, aiming to knock out the opponent. The game is set in a 2.5D environment, but all the characters and models are the characters, models and backgrounds are all rendered in 3D. And what I also found with this as well is when you were picking characters, you can actually choose both good and villain characters as well. And yeah, as I say, I played this game before, really enjoyed it. It's one that I've got on my list that I do actually want to go through and sort of play the game all the way through. Because yeah, I think I've got to like the same point now, sort of a couple of times. And yeah, I just want to see where they take the game. So paid £8 for this. Looking it up online, it goes for £12 on eBay. And then this next one, I pretty much picked it up purely on the cover art, and that was nothing else. I knew nothing else about the game, but yeah, decided to just grab it. And that is Fade to Silence. So released in 2019 by Black Forest Games. This is actually a survival action adventure game. And players take control of the protagonist character, Ash, who is described as a natural leader, tasked with facing enriched monsters and the element of post-apocalyptic environment blanketed in an endless winter. Fade to Silence will allow the player to construct, upgrade and defend their refuge with while also rescuing and recruiting new followers. Fade to Silence received mixed reviews from critics with a Metacritic score on the PS4 of 55 out of 100. And I have to admit, when I saw this and I saw the cover art, I did not expect it to be a survival game. But yeah, really enjoyed it. It's both interesting and annoying because as you're playing it, you've got death talking, sort of essentially in your head, in your ear, whatever it is, and yeah, it's basically just saying you're going to die. So yeah, that in itself is a nice, good element, but I think they overuse it, and yeah, it just ends up getting annoying. So for that one, we paid £8. Looking it up online, it does also go for about £8 on eBay as well. Then this next game was actually the reason that I went into CEX, and yeah, this was the whole reason that this video got filmed. And actually this is a game that there is no footage for this, because I am going to be filming over this weekend. I'm going to be filming a worst games ever video on this game, and I want my reactions to be completely fresh. I think this will be the first time that I'm going into a game completely fresh for these videos, and that is Lord of the Rings Gollum. So yes, this was a game, I think originally I actually had it pre-ordered, and then a couple of weeks before it was due to release I cancelled the pre-order. I think it was I just didn't have the money at the time to pick it up, but turns out it was actually a good shout to cancel it because I would have ended up paying about £39 for it, and yeah, we all know exactly how this game went. So yeah, it is currently rated as the worst ever PS5 game released, and yeah, I've been wanting to get it for a little while now, especially since starting that series. So yeah, this is now going to be on Tuesday's worst games ever, and yeah, I am really looking forward to playing it and seeing how bad it actually is. So yeah, this one paid £10 for it, and the reason I went into CEX is actually a couple of pounds cheaper than eBay. On eBay it averages out at about £12. So yeah, really happy to have that, and yeah, nice for that we've got another game for the worst games ever series. So the last two games that we've got are both games that they've not been bought for any particular video or anything like that. I just saw them and wanted to grab them for the collection. And the first one is actually on a console that we have not picked up for in absolutely ages, or it feels like it anyway, and that is the GameCube. So we have got Judge Dredd, Dredd vs. Death. Released in 2003 by Rebellion. This is a first-person shooter, and while out on patrol, Dredd encounters a pack of feral vampires attacking civilians. After dispatching them, an aircraft filled with vampires crashes into Nixon Penitentiary, disabling all of the automated defences and sparking a riot. Dredd is then dispatched to help secure the penitentiary. The single-player campaign is made up of 11 levels, which the player takes on the role of Judge Dredd and battles a series of criminals and undead vampires. And I have to say, sort of when I was playing this, I very much felt like a reskinned Soldier of Fortune. Now, I know that Rebellion weren't anything to do with that, but yeah, it just felt like that. I think the tutorial level that they have you run through right at the beginning is probably one of the most frustrating, because they are asking you to do things, but they don't. There's no prompts on screen. So there's one bit at the beginning where you've got to jump over and crouch under barriers, but at no point does it actually tell you what the jump and crouch buttons are. And in the very next section, you've then got to arrest a robot, but it doesn't tell you how to to do the arrest. So you have to keep referring to the manual early on in the game for the controls. And what I will say is, with the manual, as well as having it printed inside, they do also have the the controller configuration on the back of the manual as well. So they've got it 2 times in the manual how to control the character, but yeah, at no point did they actually ever prompt you on screen, which I thought was very annoying. And it basically means that if you don't have that manual, your chances of actually being able to play the game for the very first time is going to pretty much be 0, because you're not able to get that part where you've got to arrest the robot. You can't move past that unless you actually successfully arrest the character, and to do that, it's actually a 2-button combination. So yeah, there's a lot of issues with it. I just found it was more cumbersome trying to read the manual while sort of carrying out the action, and yeah, I just think it could do with some key prompts on the screen. So we ended up paying £20 for that. Looking it up online, it goes for about 27 on eBay. So as I say, a bit of a disappointing game. but nice to have another new addition to the GameCube collection. And then the final game that we've got was a Saturn game. And yeah, I think I probably showed this in the video in the retro cabinet that my CEX has got. And the fact that when I was looking at it, I saw that it had the instructions in it. So that was why I decided to grab it. And that was Fighters Mega Mix. So released in 1997, developed by Sega AM2. This was intended as an introduction to Virtual Fighter 3, which was announced but never released for the Saturn. Fighters Mega Mix utilises the concept originally used by the King of Fighters, whereby characters and styles from different games were mixed together. The game includes characters from both Virtual Fighter and Fighting Vipers. Fighters Mega Mix was met with critical acclaim upon release, holding the game's ranking score of 88%. And personally, I don't understand how it got that rating. I really don't. I just found that the controls were sluggish, very, just wasn't a responsive or even quick acting fighting game. If you look at things like the Virtual Fighter 1 and 2, and even Fighting Vipers on their own, they are brilliant fighting games. But for some reason that just did not translate into this game. And yeah, I was not a fan at all. And I think as well, the other negative for me is the fact that it is in one of the plastic cases. And yeah, I don't like the... Actually, no, I think this one's okay. I think there's the slightly bigger EA ones that are a problem. So yeah, this one, no, this one's fine. I'll let it off for the case. But yeah, I was really disappointed. The fact that it was coming from a background of three, essentially, absolutely amazing fighting games on the Saturn. Yeah, I thought this one was very, very disappointing. So yeah, it was a real shame with that one. Ended up paying £18 for that, but looking it up online, it goes for £24 on eBay. So yeah, even still, a nice new addition for the collection. And actually, I think as well now that will top out. No, it wasn't. There's one more that I want to get. So I thought it was going to top out my Sega fighting games, but no, I want to get the... Oh, what is it? It's a Virtual Fighter 1. Is it Virtual Fighter Kids, I think it's called? Where basically it's like all the Virtual Fighter games, but they're just in sort of the kid characters, basically. I can't remember the words. So that is going to wrap it up for our trip to CEX. We have got some absolutely brilliant games there, and actually some consoles that we don't pick up too much for. So yeah, nice to have them as well. But before we wrap up the video, let's quickly run through the totals. So our total spend today was £101.50. I think all in, after all of the trade-ins, I think I topped it up by about £12. So yeah, as I say, really happy with the games that we've picked up. If we were to get everything from eBay, it would have been a total price of £147. So yeah, a little over £45 saving. It's not something I'm going to sniff at. But with that said, that is going to come to the end of the video today. But before you head off, if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're not already, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell to be kept up to date when I upload new videos. And yeah, with that said, thank you so much for watching today. Really hope you enjoyed the video. And I'll see you on the next one. Alright, bye.